Let's go.
What up, people? Prince Fuad here. Ain't going anywhere. I'm with Vandy, the main man, Vandy. What's going on, Van?
I'm chilling, foot. Just watching the end of this football, man.
Oh, this football. This exciting football with Tottenham, please.
It's 10 at the back, bruh. Fucking hell.
Yeah, man. Do you know what, though? To be honest, whoever wins deserves to go through, innit? They draw, they deserve to go through. They won, Jeremy. But the Champions League this year, it's been like kind of like defensive teams are always doing good, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think these guys, they can't go. The further you go on, you might be able to get out the group playing this kind of football, but when they come against the big boys, because, well, they're going to finish second in the group now, so they're probably going to draw a top team, Bayern Munich, someone like that, because if you think City are going through, Liverpool are going through, so that's two teams they can't play. If they draw a Bayern Munich, this could be an embarrassment for Tottenham what Bayern Munich will do to them. So let them get through the group like this, but they ain't going far playing like that, man. It's shocking football.
Yeah, it is shocking
guys.
football.
Are you still going on? I know. You guys still... You know what's happening? So I updated my computer, and I just wanted to do the update, and I'm watching this, because it's about, was it, a minute left, and Ryan Gill's come on. But I've heard what you guys are saying. The football Spurs are playing is shocking.
Unbelievable.
Shocking. I'm sure.
And people got...
But it's effective.
But I think they'll just get found out the further they go in the Champions League, if they go any further. Because I think they're going to draw a big team now, finishing second in the group. Unless they score a late winner here.
They're going to get teams like Real Madrid,
Bayern
Munich, PSG,
Napoli. Even Napoli will do them.
Yeah, well, Napoli play too quickly for them.
Yeah,
there's only about 30 seconds left.
Oh, I know they're going to be celebrating they made it to the Champions League, and they're
to be honest, I've had a couple of good chances. You know what I mean?
Look, you see, the first half performance from them were absolutely shocking, and I was watching that and thinking, I'm glad United didn't end up going for Conte, man, because I couldn't deal with that.
What the football is
at Chelsea? He didn't play like they weren't that ball. They played good stuff, but they got better players at Chelsea.
The difference is he had that Eden Hazard, who at the time was just unplayable.
Mate,
he's got some good players at Tottenham. They're not. There was no one of the flair and just the madness that Hazard was on.
Hazard, yeah. When they had Hazard, they were a different team.
He's in. Spurs have got it.
Yeah,
1 minute.
That's all right, bro. Just get to watch him.
Oh my days.
Oh yeah. Desi, let me take Desi. Get on here, bruh.
Oh my days. Ow. Gee, ow. He's missed an earlier chance, hit the bar, but he took that chance well. It's 2-1 Tottenham. They've been awful in the first half. That's what you call second half Spurs. Second half Spurs. I think we all call Spurs second half Spurs. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Look at him.
They've done it now, haven't they?
And they've avoided all the big boys as well.
Yeah, they won the group, is it?
They won a group, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's mad. Like the big boys ain't performing. Anyway, it's like he was just telling me Atletico Madrid, didn't he? He's out with the Champions League, isn't he? I mean, they're not even getting to Europa League.
Yeah, finished rock bottom. All they needed was a point against Porto, and they lost.
So Marseille rock bottom now, are they?
Yeah.
So who drops in? Frankfurt then, is it? Or Sporting?
No, not Frankfurt. Porto are in the Europa League. No, not Porto. Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League.
Sporting.
Yeah, man. Can you put the TV on mute in now, Ken? Because they're getting double copyrights in it or something, is it?
Yeah, put me on mute. Put me on mute.
All right.
I need to catch up with Kenny because I don't think we've had a convo since the Ben Eubank saga, man. Since the whole drug test, because I think the last one we had was the week of the fight, wasn't it? Maybe the Monday or the Tuesday before. I thought you're on mute too.
I can unmute myself because I've turned it off.
Yeah, Kenny, he was talking about boxing, then, isn't he?
Well, yeah.
He was just asking you haven't seen you about the Eubank and Fem fight, innit?
Quite a lot's happened. What's happened, because I think what's happening is that, you know, everyone's got their own theories, and I think in boxing circles, it seems like because of the news around Conor Bennett, it seems like guilty before being proved innocent. So that seems to be the theme of the whole situation regarding Conor Bennett, is that, you know, boxing fans are confused because the disclosure happened to be because we now know, and we're 90% certain that the person who leaked it wasn't Chris Eubank Jr. It was a British Border Control that leaked it to the Daily Mail. So I think, so basically, they've done it in the 11th hour. But hang on here, they got these results 2 weeks before that. So again, there must have been to and fro negotiations. Clearly, if the British Border Control leaked it, then they would have warned them beforehand to do the right thing, pull out the fight. But people like Sauerland and Eddie refused, so their hand was forced. And even when their hand was forced, they still tried to, take legal action when they really didn't have a leg to stand on. And then Conor Ben's just made it worse and worse. Every time he opens his mouth, he makes it worse. If I was Conor Ben, unless you're prepared to say, look, I did it. I've been doing it for a while. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. I'll take a break from sport. I'll accept a year's ban. It'll be fine. He'll resume his career because there's other fighters. Povetkin's failed drug tests.
Yeah.
Canelo failed a drug test.
Dillian
White failed one. You know, Baby Miller's failed drug tests. So people fail drug tests. But the more he keeps on talking, giving interviews without in denial, and then more and more things come out, then it's just going to look bad for him. It's really going to look bad for him, because at the moment there's a lot of people in boxing who either are disappointed in Conor Bennett or just have no time for him.
Yeah,
that's bad.
He's not helping himself, man. Some of the stuff he's saying, some of the stuff about him, because obviously they're saying it's small traces. And then him talking about eating 30 eggs and it could potentially be the eggs. Stop with that BS, man. You've got caught, so unless you've got some evidence which can blow you away and really make it clear that you haven't cheated, you just got to hold your hands up and say you've been caught, man, because very rarely do you see someone fail a test and prove that it was something else, or contamination somewhere else. Because he just needs to hold his hands up.
See what Chris Eubank Senior said though. Chris Eubank, Chris Eubank said today. He said that he doesn't believe that it's Conor Benn's fault. He believes it's the team, because he said you don't know what they're giving him, you don't know what they're injecting him, you don't know what. So the team got to take responsibility. You can't always blame the fighter, because the people around him are the ones giving him.
Listen, you can't get away with that and just say it's not his fault, because at the end of the day, they're giving it to you. So you build your team. This is a team that you trust around you. Now, I'm not saying it could just be him, but I part of it, I do agree with that. If he's getting banned, the people in and around him should be banned from boxing, because they can't just go from one fighter he just have a year out.
But then again,
and then go to another fight and potentially do the same thing.
Yeah, but the problem is you talk the people. If you're talking about people in his team, you're talking about someone like Tony Sims, who's like giving his life to the sport. There's no way Tony Sims would have been involved in that.
Yeah,
no way he'd be involved in that. And you have to assume that Eddie Hearn wasn't involved in that. So I think the problem boxers have got now is that boxing traditionally has always been about trainer, and they're doing their oath, boxing training and also their fitness coaches. But what we've had now is that we've had dietitians involved in boxing. We've got sports scientists. So once I don't care what anyone says, once you bring in the sports scientists and dietitians, then you're going to have loads of cases like that because boxers are athletes. And you see what's happening in athletics, you see what happens in football, where people said, don't worry, don't need to ask what this is, just take this. And by the way, this is the list of banned substances. They tell them after, they tell them to take it, and they trust, because what's happening now is that boxers want to be fitter so they can last the 12 rounds. So they're not going to just go for morning runs or just lift weights. They're going to do other kind of exercises and take supplements in order to keep them, injury free and keep them, fit and supple for boxing. So it's going to happen. And the fighter who wants to win the world titles, is going to say yes, because it seems to be happening a lot with boxing, where, before when someone failed a drug test, you could always say, oh, yeah, he took an aspirin before, or he took an ibuprofen. Now it's a case where they are taking supplements that they don't know what they're taking, but what's happening? They are feeling the benefit. They're not feeling like stiff after a training run. They're feeling fit. They feel they can go all day, and they're lasting the pace in the ring. And, let's not forget, the person that everyone's christened as the best heavyweight of his generation, he failed a drug test and he was banned. He didn't. I love Tyson Fury, but, a lot of people in boxing doubt the validity of the mental health situation.
Yeah.
They genuinely believe that he didn't take time out. He was given a forced rest because of he failed a drug test. And it wasn't just, recreational drugs. It was performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah. But it's too many, like you said, too much nutritions and all this diet, and you don't know what they're giving them to drink. Like these protein shakes, you don't know what's in them really. These protein shakes, that water mix keeps them hydrated. You don't know what's in it really.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just feel this whole, the way it's been handled has been quite bad, to be fair, man. Like, I don't know, bro. It just left a bad taste in my mouth, the way this is handled, man. Like, and then the fact that just the weight they have to get Eubank down to, and just the rehydration clause and stuff like that. And to be fair, the fight, lucky it didn't go ahead, because if something did happen to Chris Eubank, a lot of people, some people could have went to jail for that shit, man. People could have went to jail for that shit, because that's something else, man. Because he's a professional athlete. So if you get caught with, if you're doing VADA testing, you get a test that says you failed a VADA test, but you still go ahead with it, and then something happens to Chris Eubank, then people are looking at jail time. Trust me.
You ask yourself one question: the British Board of Boxing have been very moralistic, and they did the right decision. But the thing that's astounding about the whole situation, they go by UCAD testing, and if the UCAD sample comes back as a positive, then they'll enforce a ban. Yet the thing is that all, like if you think about the WBC and the other boxing organisations, they assist in VADA as a voluntary test. But if you don't remember, Conor Ben refused to actually, he refused to actually sign up to VADA. Hence the fact that he was taken out of rankings. Then, as soon as he gets back in the rankings, by signing up to VADA, then he's back on track. And I think that's the whole situation. It's clearly, the British Board of Boxing should be, sign up to VADA, because that is what is being recognised by everyone in boxing in terms of promoters insist on it. Like I said, and World Boxing Organisations insist on it. Yet the British Board of Boxing is meant to be looking after the sport. Don't recognise it, but they recognise it when it suited them. Something's up there.
I got this. We're going to talk. We're going to change a bit of the subject now. We're going to talk about football tonight because we've got Deji Spurs in the house, a Tottenham Spurs fan.
No.
Congratulations on
Hello, gentlemen. Yeah, look, I'm not.
Congratulations on top of the group.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. I'm in an ignorant mood this evening. I'm in an ignorant mood, partly because hella people been trolling me at halftime. Tottenham are going out, giving me all sort of smoke. I've been saying it from day. Prince Fawad will tell you. I told you Tottenham for the Premier League or the Champions League. We slapped up that group, top of the group. Through to the next round. We don't do Mickey Mouse. You get me? We do big boy things. So really, I've come here for people to show me some respect, because the amount of smoke and disrespect that I've had to go through for the last 2 months, no. Right now, on whatever channel, put some respect on my name real quick, please. Look, I'm so ignorant right now. People best not.
We're Arsenal supporters. We're not going to praise you. We're gooners. We can't praise you.
No. You're not doing. You have to put some respect that Tottenham have made it to the last 16 of the Champions League. Look, I told you already. We don't do Mickey Mouse. You understand? We do big boy things.
Kenny, is the first time we met Deji, is it?
My brother. Huh?
I said, Kenny, is this the first time we met Deji, is it?
This is the first time I've met Kenny. This is the first time I've met Blade. Real talk, respect to you, brothers, but I'm not gonna lie. Tonight, you gotta give man due respect now.
One thing about that. Look, you did what you had to do, and it's. I wanted Marseille to win. You can't knock it. Your second half performance, got you into last 16. But as a football fan, as a Spurs fan, that football, right, is, how do I say it? You can't live with that kind of football. There's going to be times where it's not going to be, how do I say it? It's not going to be sustainable, because so many times this season, you've there have been games where you've gone 2-0 down or 1-0 down, and in the second half you've had to come back. There's going to be a time when against better teams in the Champions League, and every team in the Champions League in the last 16 is a top gun side. Even the sides without the big names, you have to be a very good team to get in the last 16. The good thing Spurs, the thing that's probably going to help Spurs, is they got 2 legs where they don't have to, how I say it, re-emerge in the second half because of the 2 legs. They could do it a while or late, or do it in the first leg, and that's what's going to help Spurs. But I'll tell you one thing now: you're riding your luck, man. Because let's face it, man, if you want to win the league, you can't play like that.
Yeah,
you can't. You can't do it.
Kenny, I said to someone the other day, and I'm going to have to do it with you. So I said to someone, this is Arsenal's best performance.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I said, this is Arsenal's best.
Deji's a legend, bro.
I said to someone the other day that this is
Man United for the second.
Huh?
Can you tell us what you think Man United is going to happen with Man United season?
They're going to get slapped up, bro. You know about Ajax.
That's all United fans.
I ain't even dealing with them. I ain't dealing. But I was saying this season is Arsenal's best season since 2003, since the Invincible. And I had a guy called Why Not Spursy in the chat say, no, he disagrees because Arsenal in 2012 to 2014, they were good. Bruv, I can't even tell you where Arsenal finished in 2012 to 2014. Nobody gives a damn about performances. What we're here for, Kenny, is about the results. What people are going to remember, despite the football, is that Tottenham topped the Champions League group in 2022. You understand what I'm saying? So I hear what you're saying, but right now, because of the pressure that Arsenal fans, have you won a trophy? Have you won a trophy? Have you won a trophy? Because you guys put trophy winning above performances, Tottenham has to go and get some bug manager who's going to play rubbish football to bring on the trophy. And right now, when I'm just doing the numbers. I'm not even a mathematician. We are 5 points behind Arsenal, who's top of the league in the Prem, and we qualified top of our group in the Champions League. That's all you can ask for, really and truly. That's all you can ask.
Yeah. Oh, and there's no doubt about that. But you know, I was on speaking to a lot of my friends who are Tottenham fans, and they feel differently to you. There are you know, there's an undercurrent of feeling towards your manager because of the style of play.
Yeah,
you know, they're not fully satisfied with what's going on, and they believe it's not sustainable because, you know, with you know, I think I can see both sides. I can see where you're coming from because I think that the way Conte is playing, for it to be like attractive and probably more successful, he's got to have the players he had at Chelsea and Internazionale, and some of your players, you know, especially like players like you know, not so much, you know, Emerson Royale, maybe you know, like Sanchez, those kind of players. They're not what I call top three players. And I suppose he's developing a style that suits and is getting results. But you need to get a checkbook out, man, because it's not just Spurs. Arsenal need to get a checkbook out as well because, you know, our squad is too thin. Your squad's a bit bigger than ours, but you think about the quality. You've lost one of your best players in Song. Also, you lost, you know, like Kulusevski, and you lost, you know, Richarlison. Let's face it, you're relying more and more pressure on Harry Kane. So that I don't think that's sustainable. From an outside looking, that's not sustainable.
I agree. The only thing missing, look, there's something going around at the moment called Deji at the wheel, because I've asked for Conte to move out of the way unless he does one thing. In fact, I actually wish for us to go out tonight because for me, I think what's missing is the golden triangle. He needs to play Cess left back, not right back. He needs to play Basuma in the middle, and he needs to play Jed Spence. This brother keeps playing Emerson Royale and Matt Doherty, aka Justin Timberlake, and that number one, right? That number kick. So for me, I agree with your Tottenham friends. He needs to be playing Jed Spence, and for whatever reason, he's not playing Jed Spence, and that's why the Tottenham team seemed lopsided. The system makes sense, but also Kane and Son are not the strikers for that system, because right now, what he's got Kane and Son doing is running around like Kenyan marathon runners, you get me, doing the steeplechase. Right now, I'm looking at Kane and Son, and they're looking like Moses Kiptanui. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't really take it. But at the same time, I hear what you're saying, but the players, by hook or by crook, they've got it over the line, and I'm just going to celebrate that because I'm not going to lie to you. 45 minutes ago, man was smashing up glasses, television.
All right. Well, we were celebrating, but because I've been watching North London teams. Obviously, I'm a Gooner, but I've seen this before with Spurs. I don't write Tottenham off, mate, because when you've got Conte as a manager, I always think unless you know Marseille get a second or third goal, then I'll relax. But I was never relaxed watching that, especially when you got the equaliser. I just thought, you know what, they're going to get through. Just knew it.
Yeah. This guy's a Tottenham fan. Look what he's saying. He's a Tottenham fan. Abdul Ghaffar is a Tottenham fan. He's one of your disciples.
He said Thursday nights are Europa nights. Big up my man forward. All love always.
He's one of your disciples. He's a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean Thursday nights is Europa nights. I mean, for me, I feel like I was born in the 1980s, and then obviously Sky came in, in the early 90s. Football's really played on a Saturday, Monday, or Wednesday. I mean, if you're playing on a Thursday, then you're playing in some lower league thing right there. So I agree with him. If you're doing Europa League on a Thursday, like, I'm not going to lie, as well as Arsenal doing this season, it must be boring on a Thursday evening. Like, people must be twiddling their thumbs. I see Arsenal fans looking online to go to a theatre or something. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they might go and watch Matilda.
Where's this information from, bro?
Do you know what I mean?
I see Arsenal fans go to a theatre. Where'd you get all this information
Yeah, man.
from, bro?
Honestly speaking, can I be real? Can I be real with you? Kenny, I've just met you. Blades, I don't know if you're an Arsenal fan or you.
United.
Okay, no, I allow you, yeah. But I know for a fact that Kenny's not watching that game on Thursday because it's dead. It's dry.
What's he watching it?
I've got a season ticket. I'm going. I've got a season ticket.
Are you going?
Yeah, because I've got a season ticket. It's in my season
You're
ticket.
going, but you're going because you got a season ticket. You're not going because you're particularly interested.
Why are you interested?
I'd rather go to the football than watch the rubbish on TV. It's Arsenal.
No, you're right.
I'm Arsenal through. So I think I can see where you're coming from, because if it was a Carling Cup game and I had a choice, of course, I don't go Carling Cup games.
Look, Carling Cup game or Hollyoaks.
Carling Cup game, you fool. Come on, bro. This guy's taking a piss, bro.
I'm too old for Hollyoaks.
Yeah, same. I'm too old for Hollyoaks. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I just don't respect anything on a Thursday. I'm not going to lie. But, big up to everyone. Big up to you, Kenny, as well. And your team is doing well this season. The only thing I would say is that can we agree, Kenny, because at least you seem more sensible than the Arsenal fans I've been dealing with over the last couple of months. Can we agree today on this show that both Tottenham and Arsenal are in for a title challenge?
Let's get a neutral involved. Vandy, what's your take on that?
No. I don't see that. I don't see that. Not at all. Tottenham.
Big up, Abdul. Yes, Abdul.
They're not in the title challenge, bro. Come on, let's be honest. Honest.
Blade, are you chatting?
Yo,
when you said United, are you Leeds? Is it Leeds United? Or?
No, come on, bro. Don't forget what we did to you a couple of weeks back, man. Come on, let's be honest.
Okay,
let's be honest. Don't forget what Newcastle did to you.
You know what I don't like?
And even on the weekend, you got lucky as well, man.
Bro, do you know what I don't like, bro?
And also, look at this Champions. You talk about finishing top of this Champions League group,
bro. Let me tell you.
Every other Premier League top 4 team, finishes top of that Champions League group. Bro, you had the easiest group out of them all.
No, don't do that, bro. We're playing against Frankfurt, who won the Europa League last year. They're the Europa League champions, and they went through as well, bro. Put some respect on their name, bro. Let me ask you a question real quick, bro.
Welcome to Deji World, bro. This is Deji for you, bro.
This kind of Ajax United team. So you know what I don't like? I don't like teams that win games and do nothing about it. You understand? So last season, you beat Tottenham twice. And what did you do with those 6 points? All right, exactly. Nothing. So, bro, right now, you beat Tottenham this season and you're still below us in the league. Put some respect on my team's name, bro. Don't be telling me you smoked us. You did nothing with them 3 points.
Bro, how many games into the league, bro?
Bro, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing
it. What I see you doing right now is putting a front on for
Desi, how you guys are coming for you, Desi.
Because you're deep down in your heart, you're not happy with the way you guys are playing. For one, deep down, do you really believe you're in a title challenge? When was the last time Tottenham were in a title challenge? We haven't seen it, bro. When was the last time we seen it?
When Leicester won the league.
Was it a challenge though, bro? I seen you go to Chelsea and lose all composure. So I don't see a challenge. I see the second team.
Blade,
I tell you what it was. It was like the year when we finished second to Man City. It wasn't a challenge, bro. And that's the same with you and Leicester. You guys just broke down. It wasn't a challenge, bro.
Okay.
It wasn't a challenge.
Anyway, bro, we're playing Champions League football and you're also playing on Thursday.
Yeah, but listen, what's the point of playing Champions League football if you ain't gonna win it?
No, bro. That's the dumbest thing. That's like saying, what is the point of playing in the Premier League if you ain't gonna win it?
Bro, listen.
No, I'm just answering your question. Come on, bro. What we got to do, bro.
You're talking Champions League like you've got heritage.
With respect.
You've got history.
No, listen.
You've got. What have you got to show for Champions League?
Blade. Can we just agree that this evening and tomorrow, what we've done is we've taken 32 teams and we've brought them down to the best 16 teams. Can we agree that that's happened now?
Yes, of course.
All right. So, and my team is in the 16.
That's fine.
But you can't write us off, bro. Who are you to write us off?
I can.
Bro, are you Mystic Meg?
45 minutes ago, you didn't have this energy.
All right, bro.
You were 45 minutes ago. You literally just said you were smashing.
Bro, you know what I would like to see is how well you guys would be doing in the Premier League if you were playing in the big boy competition.
No, wait there. I think you're confusing me with my energy. So my energy is not United are going to win the league. My energy is not anything like that. But what my energy also is Tottenham are not in a title challenge. You're in a battle for the top four, but there's no title challenge.
For me, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I hear what you're saying, and what we're not gonna do is feelings. Yeah, what we're gonna do is factual stuff. So I'm doing the numbers right now. Yeah. Arsenal is top of the league. True or false?
No, that's false. That's true.
And you're damn right we're top of the league. Where we belong.
Right. Yeah,
Where we belong.
Hold on, my guy. And Tottenham is 5 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah, that's true.
Therefore, mathematically, we're in a title challenge.
Yeah, but not everything's numbers. Because remember, stats can put Saliba as the best centre back in the league, or this person is the best. We're not doing. So we can use stats when we need to, but also the eye test tells me you got done by us, you got done by Newcastle. You were lucky on the weekend. You were 45 minutes away from dropping into Europa League. The eye test tells me something different to what the numbers are saying. I said, not everything's numbers.
You can call it luck, but scoring in the last minute in the last 3 games, is that luck or is that just a team that is fit and doesn't and never say die attitude?
Okay, if you want to go the whole season with trying to score in the last minute, good luck to you.
All right, bro.
Good luck to you.
Kenny.
Like I said, no disrespect to Tottenham. I'm not saying they're not in a battle for top 4. I think they'll be one of the teams in and around, but there's no title challenge. There's no title challenge in my eyes.
No,
let me get Kenny in. Kenny, what's your take on Deji's delusional massive statements?
I don't know how you can call it delusional. I've been saying this before we kicked the ball in the Premier League season.
I think the problem, it's kind of a double-edged sword between Arsenal and Tottenham fans. Arsenal fans talk about trophies, yet we ain't won anything for 3 years. And Spurs are finished. I kind of like, I'm not saying I'm humble, but I kind of sit back because I hate to say it, but if we want to use eyes, they finished above us for the last 6 years, and it's been pretty until last year. It's been pretty comfortable. So when I that's one of the reasons why I always think the best way for us our best argument against Tottenham is not just to finish above them, is to win something massive and finish above them. At the moment, both teams are far away from challenging for the top. Arsenal in a sense now, and they've got a good start, but Arsenal's squad is way too thin. And if Arsenal want to challenge for the league, they've got to buy big and buy quality, because you think about it, if anything happens to, like, say, Jesus, the gap in quality between him and Eddie Nketiah is just too massive.
It's crazy.
And we know that as Arsenal fans. We can have banter with JJ all we like, but then we're going to go and shut the door and have a good think to ourselves and realise I ain't gone here. Something's not right there. And then it's not just that. Look at Albert and Partey. So we've had our problems. Let's face it, we won well against Nottingham Forest, and that's great. But before that, our form wasn't the greatest. We were a luck run against PSG, and let's face it, Nottingham Forest is a given me. I mean, come on, we struggle to break teams down, and we eventually, because we put teams under a lot of pressure, we eventually win the match. Against Nottingham Forest, it was too easy to get through their defence. So, if you want to take the Nottingham Forest performance as a title challenge, feel free to do that. But I'm only going to consider Arsenal in a title challenge if they can avoid defeat against Spurs at their own ground. So our record at Tottenham Hotspur ground is horrendous. And then you've got to think about The other situation, going to, Man City's ground and getting a result. Everton away, we all struggle against. So these kind of away games, we get through them, we're in a title challenge. Right now, I'm just taking one game at a time because we remember 2007, 2008, before Eduardo got injured. We're in a title challenge and he got injured against Birmingham. Then we started dropping points. I've been burnt too much to talk about, we're going to title challenge. Not especially after 11, was it? How many games you played? 11? We need to sort of relax ourselves and just think, you know what, one game at a time. But we beat these teams away from home, especially the big boys, then we're definitely in a title challenge. But at the moment, I still need convincing. But I'm happy, overall with our performances. But I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and just, do, what we did in the 80s. We all agree Arsenal's magic, Tottenham are tragic. I'm better than that. Yeah. I want genuine facts. I want genuine evidence that we're going to title challenge. And until we start beating these teams at their ground on a regular basis and then start improving the squad, then I'll be shouting for rooftops. Even if we don't win the league, I'll shout at the rooftops to win the title challenge. But right now, I need convincing.
Yeah. I'm going to read some of the comments in the chat, all right? Someone tell us to do the Gaffer to self-support his Spurs. That's one of Denny's disciples. And Gaffer says, Vandy, anyone can get in the last 16. Who you got next? And he goes, pick up Deji, tell him how it is 100%. And here's one for Deji now. I think this was very. Do you think Spurs are playing quality football or winning trophies? The way Spurs fans act. That's a question for you, Reg.
For me, yeah.
This is your disciple, yeah. He's bigging you up.
Yeah,
so you got to answer.
In answering to Joe, do you think Spurs are playing quality football? No, we're not. And winning trophies. At the moment, if this is what we got to do to get trophies under our belt and to put you guys in your place, then so be it. And I said this because I can see Arsenal fans. Look, if we win a Mickey Mouse Cup, like a Carabao Cup, I can see Arsenal fans trolling me and saying, well, it's only the Carabao Cup, it's only this. So I said in a show a couple of weeks back, what's it going to take? And someone in the chat said, if Spurs were to win the Champions League, that would equate to 8 FA Cups. Now, I can live with that because what I don't want is Spurs winning the trophy this season and then Arsenal fans trolling me and saying, well, you've only won one trophy.
No, Arsenal fans, if Tottenham won the Champions League, Arsenal fans couldn't come at you with that energy.
Hey, let me tell you something now. If you win the Champions League, I'm leaving the country. I'm leaving the country. Because you think about it, all the years we were in the Champions League and you win it before us, it's over, mate. You'll never see me on a podcast. You never see me going to Arsenal. I'll be too embarrassed. When you win the Champions League final against Liverpool, you know what Arsenal fans were saying? We had a poll which said, right, who would you rather? And it was basically, would you rather get smashed by Chelsea and Spurs lose to Liverpool in the Champions League final? And a lot of Arsenal fans were like 50-50 because they thought can you imagine the embarrassment? Can you imagine all these Arsenal fans who laugh at Spurs about not winning trophies? If you win that one Champions League before us, you can, until we win that Champions League, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Fred knows this. He's laughing. He knows this. That's why he's quiet. You know it, Blades, who's not and Deji, you know this.
It's no argument.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it. That's why I put it out there.
Oh, that's why I'm determined for you to get smashed to pieces in that Champions League. Because I'll tell you one thing, right? We can win the league and you lot win the Champions League before us. And I'll still will be hating because I'll still have to leave the country because you think about it.
Now, will we quit though? If you were to win the Premier League and we win the Champions League, then we're even.
Look, you don't know how
Tottenham winning the Champions League holds a bit more weight.
You reckon,
bro?
Yeah, 100%.
I think Tottenham winning the Champions League holds more weight, bro. If you were to win this Champions League,
we've won the league so many times. We've won the league about 13 times, but we want that one Champions League. And if you do it before us, all bets are off. All bets are off, mate.
I better start going on my knees and praying and for Spurs to bring this over the line, because that's where my money is.
You weren't praying 3 years ago when you were in the final.
Well, we all know the duttiness, and the problem is Spurs were unlucky, because we know today what happened with Sissoko in literally the first minute with the handball. That doesn't get given, you know, and people forget that Spurs were pretty much robbed. Some Liverpool giving a cheap handball, and then, you know,
you could say,
if you want to win I was going to say to you, if you want to win a Champions League, Deji, and you want to pray that hard, I was going to say you go down to mosque on a Friday, you go to the synagogue on a Saturday, and you go to the church on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And you keep praying for that Champions League, bro. All right? You know the hint now where to go.
I hear that.
Let's face it.
Congratulations, you got through. You know, no one's going to knock that, even though you play whatever football. I don't know what style. Sometimes you play all right, but you got through. Congratulations. And remember, Reggie, Deji, you owe me whispers. Don't forget that.
I owe you whispers, man. But also, Bance is going to be doing a TikTok for me, because he said yesterday that if Spurs, he guaranteed that Spurs was going to get knocked out, and if they were happen to go through, and he said we weren't going to finish top of our group, that he's going to do a TikTok. So please, can everyone shout out Boots Bance, get him to hurry up and produce my content, where he's basically putting respect on my name. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, some creativity tomorrow on the socials as well. But look, I'm so sorry because I have to jump off. But Blade, it was so nice to meet you. Kenny, pick up to you as well. Enough respect as forward. Look, we got to do it again. I haven't finished with Blade. We have to chop it up. Me and you, your team. Everyone knows. I call your team Ajax United. You know, Ajax past, present, and future. So
we'll sort out next week. We'll do a show next week. We'll get a show next week.
Big up to you, sir, because you've come with the most measured view of Arsenal. So much so, I have to put some respect on your name, because when I speak to Forward and others, they are so deluded that it makes me sick. And so I've had to name myself the Arsenal Slayer just to calm these guys down. Do you get what I'm saying? So good up to you, Kenny. And Forward, thanks for inviting me. And you know, later this week you're getting chopped up. If anyhow you don't finish top of your group, and you draw Barcelona in the next round, I'm laughing in your face. Just know.
It ain't happening, bitch.
Hey, Barcelona they got the players, well, a lot of players, but I don't know what sort of football they play, man, in Europe.
Well, yeah, I think if you get Barcelona right now, you could get chopped up. It could look really ugly, man.
You know, I think we'll beat them if we play, because I think not because we're better than them, because there's something happening in Barca, man, that where they just, I don't know what's going on there, man. But certain players are past their sell by date. Like there's some, some of their defenders, some of the midfielders. They still got ballers, but it's like they don't seem to be a shape with the way they play. Just go out and play. It's like playground football sometimes in Barca.
Yeah,
and that's why I think teams that are organised can take them in Europe.
Yeah, no, fair play. I think they'll chop you up, but we'll see. Hopefully, what we need is for you guys to get drawn. So, Forwards directed me where to pray on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be doing those things, and hopefully, we'll see Arsenal get. That would be an amazing game of football. We're
not going to get Zurich are crap. They're not beating us. They're bad.
Yeah,
they're
really
bad.
Beating us at home. You know that yourself. You know what I'm beating Zurich. But I was going to say to you, congratulations. I'm happy in the last 16. I can see you gassed. And I can see you're going to go on the Sabaton. But we'll do a show next week. Me, you, and Vandy and Kenny Ken. We'll sort some out for next week.
But just so you know, Kenny and Blade, just one last thing. I'm not pumping my chest because Tottenham went through. Forward knows I've been saying this before a ball was kicked this season. So what I'm feeling right now is part way to vindication of what I've been saying all along. And on that note, thank you and good night.
Yes, thank you.
Nice one, bro.
Love.
He's a good guy, Deji, bro. You know, he brings spice to anywhere he goes. He brings spice to the what's it called? To the
I could just imagine his at half time that the sort of stick he was getting from Gunas. I could just imagine it.
Yeah.
And you included. You included.
I do you know what? Do you know me? Do you know me? I don't really. I just say a few words, and he goes, "I know what you're doing. You're getting under my skin now." That's all I gotta say to him. I know how to wind him up.
I'll tell you what, he must have killed you, man. When last season when they picked us for the top 4, he must have actually. He must have been unbearable for you.
He was just cursing. Oh man, when he beat us, I told you, little boys. That's what he was saying. He's a good guy, Dej. He's a good guy. But it's going to be a good weekend this weekend. Man United got Aston Villa. But is Kenny Emery's not in charge of that game? I heard. Is that true?
No.
I think he starts today, November the 1st, isn't it? Or is it? Depends when he gets his work permanent. But Liverpool got Tottenham got Liverpool. We got Chelsea away, and Man United have got Aston Villa. Who, let's face it, Man United are playing better football and they're looking more organised with Ronaldo in the team as well. Now, this guy, man, you're actually running, you're actually pressing, and he's kind of playing Casemiro in that midfield has made you a much better side. You know what I mean? Much more settled. You're dominating midfield, and you actually have a purpose. You pass the ball forward, so. It is sustainable, but you're probably gonna, one thing about Rashford that's worrying is he's too inconsistent, man.
I'm not his biggest fan anyway, man. I've always been 50-50 about Rashford, but the thing about Rashford is at the moment I can't really say much because Sancho is just stinking out the place at the moment. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what he's doing, if he's going out too much, because the guy's a party head, man. And there's rumors on the street that he does like a couple of drinks as well. So I don't know if that's just affecting his game. I don't know what it is, because I thought Ten Hag would be the perfect manager for him, but he just looks a shadow of that player that was at Dortmund. And I know it's a different league, but he was doing it in the Champions League as well. And he just looks a shadow of the player. Just devoid of any confidence. He doesn't take on a man. I don't know. There's something wrong with him. So while his form's like this, Rashford can be inconsistent, but he'll still be a better option than Sancho.
He's been like a disappointment because you think about it. The season before then, the season during lockdown, you went all out to buy him. Like I said, you put in an offer, but he wanted to stay another year in Dortmund. And I was thinking, this guy's got to be a baller, man. Because I knew. Because Man United have always prided themselves on wingers. So when you finally got him, and I saw him the first time, I went, all right, maybe he'll play a bit better. Maybe he's going to feel himself in the team. But I looked at him, and there were some games where I thought, yeah, this guy's got it. And there were majority of the times I was thinking, nah. I mean, because the guy that can beat his man, he doesn't get to the byline. He doesn't beat a man. He tends to cut in and do the same thing. It's
weird because you watch Dortmund and if you don't watch even the full games, just the highlights. And like I said, I know you come up against a different quality of right back in this league because it seems like every team has got a good right back these days. But I don't know, there's just something about him. He just doesn't look as confident. He doesn't look as quick. He doesn't drive. Because what he used to do when he get the ball at Dortmund, receive it to foot, and the first thing he's doing is running at the right back. Now, he gets the ball, he dallies it, pass it to Luke Shaw, and then he'll try and do a little 1-2. And I'm thinking, I just don't know what it is with him. I just don't know what it is.
I think what Man United's problem was is they just money without thinking. It's like you got to. With Borussia Dortmund, it's like when you come 80 million, they didn't even hesitate taking.
Yeah.
I know everyone got a price, but even when you a price of a player that much, it's like that caliber. And he's that good, an £80 million player. You have to bargain. It'll take you a while. You might have to wait another 6 months, 7 months. This one, you can't win for him. You got him straight away. So there's got to be something behind it.
No, the thing for me is maybe we give him a little bit because look, he's on a big contract and he's only 22, and I think he's one of the highest outfield play paid. Apart from Ronaldo, he's up there with one of the highest paid. And you look at it at 22, if he's on that contract, what's gonna be next? You can only go higher really at 22. So we put too much on his plate too early. Because like I said, he's got a reputation of being a little party boy. But listen, everyone can have that side of them. Everyone can be a party boy. But when it comes to Rooney, like to drink, etc. But when it comes to performances on the pitch, Rooney used to do it. And I know comparing different players, different eras and stuff, but I don't know. There's something missing with Sancho, and it kills me because I've been a massive fan and I've defended him massively the last 2 years.
It is, Blake.
Give him a bit of time, but just now, I thought this would be the year that he proved his quality, and he just hasn't so far.
You know what I think it is. I think with Man United being in kind of transition since you lost Sir Alex, players like it, when Man United was strong, you could carry players like him. Yeah. And what will happen is that you can have enough quality to the extent you can get him over the line. In terms of, because what will happen is that he can't help but play well because the team's playing well. The team's always in a ascendancy. They're battering teams home and away, and that will enable him to shine. But the problem is that you're not that kind of side. You're stop-start. You're inconsistent, and you just do not have the mentality, a high-winning mentality. So what's happened is that you can't afford to carry him.
Yeah,
to carry a player like that. And
but if you think, I think the manager's also putting a message out to him that, look, give him a kick up the arse, because last week Thursday,
he needs to kick up the arse.
Yeah, because last week Thursday we played in Europa League, and he played Garnacho, and then we went to the game on Sunday, and there was no Anthony. So I thought, okay, definitely, if there's no Anthony, that definitely means Sancho's going to start, and then he played Elanga. So that's telling me, look, he's sending a message to Sancho that, you need to fucking book your ideas up. I'm not saying we're going to sell him, because that's a massive investment, but it's to the point now where he needs to look at himself and think, am I just going to be Sancho, known as that talented player that never quite made it, or is he going to be challenging? Because don't forget, when he was at Dortmund, he was doing 20 goals, 20 assists, I think 2 seasons in a row, or near enough. And not saying he was on the level of Mbappe, but people were talking about him like being a top level young player. Like there was Mbappe, and then he's not far behind in terms of potential, but he just hasn't shown any of that since he's come to United. He's had little spells, even I was making excuses for him, like just because he didn't have a set left back. Some weeks it's Luke Shaw, some weeks it's Malacia, some weeks it was Tellez. But there's only so many excuses you can make for him. Sometimes, do you know what? It doesn't matter who you're playing with a left back. Just you go and do what you do, and the left back, if they're not giving you the support, then you can look at them. But you just do the best you can do, and then we'll look at everyone else after. You just worry about yourself. And yeah, like you said, I think, I don't know, man. He needs his kick up the arse, and it's a tricky one, because he's not going to play on the right, because that's Anthony's, and Ten Hag loves Anthony, and now he's got a battle with Rashford, who, though he's inconsistent, he scored more goals and had more assists and runs more than Sancho does. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one for him this season.
He seems to rate Martial. He seems to rate Martial quite a lot.
To be fair, I think there's a few games I thought where we've drew, and I thought if Martial was there, because I think we tend to play just better all-round football when Martial's there, because everything works. And I think, we when we were on the live earlier, we said, like, if Martial's fit on Sunday, I think he comes straight back into the team. I think he might play 20 minutes on Thursday against tomorrow against Sociedad. But if he's fit enough for 90, I think he comes straight back into the team against Villa.
I think the problem you got is that the reason why Ronaldo is still like an enigma at your club is because if you ask anyone in football, is he better than Rashford? Yeah. Is he better than Martial? Yeah. Ronaldo kind of shot himself in the foot, because the way you're playing now is actually set up for him. But because he didn't have a pre-season,
Yeah,
you can't play him.
Behind.
You can't play him because he's trying to get back in. He's behind the other players in terms of fitness and pace. So basically, what's happening is that you are, in essence, you are playing with 10 men, and you can get people to do his running. But the thing with Ronaldo, when he's really fit and on it, even at the age of 37, he can get away from his man because he hasn't had his pre-season. When you see him in a one-on-one situation, you don't fancy him now because he can't get away from his man. He can't run away from his man because a player that age needs to be pre-season. Why he refused to go on a pre-season, thinking that clubs were going to come in for him, was a big error adjustment because that is kind of held him back in terms of in terms of like playing games. If he was fit as he was last season, he starts all day long. In your team, all day long. He's better he's still better than Martial. He's still better than Rashford, but he's fit physically. He's not.
He looks physically. He looks short.
See,
he just looks so far behind.
My football knowledge. I got a degree of football knowledge, and I think a player that suit Man United, and my knowledge tells me from my degree and my being a professor in football, a great player that suits Manchester United will be Danny Welbeck. Bring back Welbeck.
Forward.
Bring back Welbeck. Kenny, do you think Welbeck will suit Man United?
No, because simple reasons that he can think about. He's got the work rate, but he doesn't score.
Yeah,
Man United Man United. If Man United want to challenge for the title, even the top four, they need even for the top four, they need to score at least between 80 and 90 goals. They're scoring that with him in the team.
Yeah.
And if Cristiano Ronaldo did the pre-season and kept himself fit, they probably got close to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was one of the biggest own goals in terms of a 37-year-old player not doing the pre-season. How do you think it was going to end? He's done a pre-season every season for the last 20 years. Hence the fact his numbers are up there, impressive. He even did a pre-season with Juventus before he went to Man United. Yeah, he didn't do the pre-season, and he thinks he could just walk back in the team. And not only is it going to affect him for United, it's going to affect his World Cup as well.
Yeah, I think he's not going to have the World Cup he wanted, and a few of the Portuguese are getting on his back as well because they look at the talent in and around the team, and if he's playing the way he is, there's people like Felix, Jota, these guys that should maybe be starting in front of him now because simply because he's just so far off the pace. But they won't start because they're not going to drop Ronaldo. But there'll be a lot of people calling for his head, especially if if Portugal don't get out the group or something or have a stinker, a lot of people are going to be after Ronaldo's head.
I think what it was.
No, go on, Ken. Go on.
No, I think what's happened is that like if your League of Nations games, there were calls, criticism of him, but I think hang on, he's not worth his place inside because he's been such a talisman for them. But the fact is that he's turned himself into a marksman, a striker, the main man when it comes to that sort of game. So there's a situation where they're creating a chance for him, but he's not fit enough to get into those areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Portugal, with Manchester United though, and my Ronaldo, it's more to it just Man United. I think he's like you were saying, it's Portugal. They got a young players and their coach. He's a bit like dinosaur, isn't he? He likes to play the old players, the old.
Well, no, yeah. The coach definitely isn't up there with the greatest as well. But Ronaldo's put Portugal on his back and carried them through a lot of times where he was playing with people like Eder and people like that. Now he's playing with talented players. There's more expectation because previously it was just all Ronaldo. Now he's got Cancelo, who's one of the, if not the best right back in the world. He's got Felix, one of the most talented players. They've got Mendes, the left back. They've got the Porto keeper. They've got Portugal, a talented team. So Now people are expecting more from not just Portugal, but for Ronaldo as a collective. Previously, it was not high expectations on Portugal, but hopefully Ronaldo can take us to that next level. But now he's got the players there. I didn't even mention the Man City centre midfielder, bloody what's his name? Portuguese midfielder. Silva. There we go, Silva. So I think if Portugal don't do well in this World Cup, they're in trouble.
Kenny's been daydreaming. He never knew Aussie was about, innit?
Chelsea. You know what it is? Is that what's happening?
Steve,
I'm hearing some noise. I was hearing some noise in the house. I'm looking around. So be quiet. You know what I mean?
Mate,
Steve, what are you doing here, mate?
You know what? I thought I'd just come in through the back door. You know what I mean? So, when you sneak into the club? Yeah. How you guys going, all right?
Yeah, we just have random talk about football, innit? We talk random football, we talk random everything. Boxing, we just talking randomly. But we just been saying about how good Danny Welbeck should be at Man United. That's my opinion. But
that was a wind up.
Stop it.
I'd love to see it. As a rival fan, I want to see it.
Nah, they will go. I think they're going in for. Rumors are saying that Manchester United are actually going in for Ivan Toney.
And I'm not surprised that they'd go for someone like him.
I'd take him in a heartbeat.
That's the rumors around Manchester.
They're also talking about Cody Gakpo. I just see another version of Rashford personally, but I don't see him as a central striker. I see him as someone that can come in off the left. He may be able to play through the middle, but if you're asking me 25 million for Gakpo or 50 to 45 million for Ivan Toney, there's only one person I'm going for, and that's Ivan Toney.
Yeah,
all day. Gakpo wasn't impressive against us guys. I mean, you guys. I mean, was he even on the pitch? So everyone rates him highly,
especially in like the home leg against them. He struggled, but you know what? The second leg, he came into the game because I think because they went at us, but I hear what you're saying, Steve. I look at him and I'm thinking the transition between the Eredivisie and the Premiership. Sometimes I think he's too big because we're talking about. Everyone seems to be talking about my guy. Jadon Sancho at Dortmund. He's looking like a world beater at Dortmund. He comes to the Premiership. Is the gap between the Bundesliga and the Premiership that big?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to take into account. Because when you look at Ivan Toney, I can tell you categorically, a lot of Arsenal fans have been whispering amongst themselves in WhatsApp groups that they'll take him as well. He really is, hot property.
Right. Honestly, Ivan Toney, I've been screaming his praises last year that I wanted him at Arsenal. Even Ever Jesus.
Welcome to the professor. The professor's
in the professor in the building.
I call myself chairman on here.
What's happening, Mike?
Yeah, no.
Go on, Steve. Go on, lads. Steve, go on.
What I was saying is Ivan Toney he's proven it with a team like Brentford, guys. And I watched him last season. I really watched him close last season. I'm like, this guy's quality. But no, he's gone under the radar. This is what I don't understand. Why has he gone under the radar? Why is nobody knocking on the Ivan Toney door? It's like, what does he have to do to get some interest? Everyone's looking at Zaha. Look at Zaha having a great season. Why are we looking at Zaha? Why are we looking at Ivan Toney and giving him the credit for playing for a team like Brentford, who are struggling right now, but still able to shine? To have a team like Brentford right now that's struggling, and to be that player that's still, still up and amongst the goals, that's a big feat. And I don't think he's getting the credit that he deserves. But if Man United get Gakpo, that'd be good for me. I'd be happy with that. I don't think any Man United fan would be interested in that. But if they get Ivan Toney, I'm worried. I would be. I'd be worried.
Michael, we've just been talking about rather football. What do you think of this season, Mike?
To be fair, I'm quite happy with this season so far. We do need to definitely strengthen for the second part, and I do feel that the World Cup is going to play a big part in how teams perform, especially for the teams where they've got a lot of players going out in the World Cup. So that's going to be interesting how the players are when they return from the World Cup and whether that gives us that advantage going into the second part of the season. I feel as well that we just need to cling on now, excuse the terminology, but just continue with these good results. I think Chelsea is one I think I don't want to tempt fate.
Don't. Please don't. You know, Chelsea, you write Chelsea off, they bite you up the backside.
But I think it's quite positive for us, but we need to make the right signings. I do think that we do need another defensive midfielder for just in case anything happens to Partey. But he's been good this year, especially with a goal in the last game.
Yeah, he's I have to agree with you on that. Yeah, I was gonna say, boys, I was gonna change the subject because Michael's one of his favorite boxers is Derek Chisora, and he's fighting against Tyson Fury, your best boxer, Michael. Derek Chisora, that's one of his best fighters. We love Derek, don't we, bro?
Oh, I love Derek. He don't care, does he? He just does what he's doing. Simple as that. He's not bothered. He'll throw his haymakers. If he gets caught, he gets caught. If he catches them, he knocks him out. He's not really that bothered, is he? He just gets stuck in.
He's a slugger, and he's literally the old school sluggers. You remember the old school sluggers? You know, the Lamotas. He's literally a slugger. Yeah, you don't see that anymore. You don't see a guy who comes in and says, you know what, or a foreman, I'm coming in and I'm breaking bones. You drop your arms and I'm still going to break your arms. I'm going to break bones, and that's Chisora. Doesn't mind to be hit, but you got to know that he might get you with one. That won't be nice.
No, he's solid. Him, I think he's. I have got a soft spot. He's never going to really win anything big, is he? But he's an old school boxer, and I think most boxers know once they go against him, it's never going to be an easy fight. Yeah. Because if you look at even the Joshua fight against Usyk, I think Chisora actually gave him a better fight. You know, he chased him down for the first 6-7 rounds, where Joshua was quite offish. I don't know what his game plan was.
You know, I think the two fighters bring out a different type of Joshua, and this is like Chisora was trying to, you know, when you're in the ring, sometimes you want to get so big that you're as big as the ring, and it looked like against Chisora was taking up the whole ring, and poor Joshua looked like a deer in the lights. You know what I mean? But against Usyk's a very, you know, his head movement, his feints, he slips. This is where Joshua can feel comfortable. But the thing is, it's where is he going to pop up? What's he going to hit me with next? The two different fighters, and it's. I think it's look. I look at this fight, Fury and Chisora. I look at it as like what some would call a tune-up fight, because Tyson Fury isn't getting an easy fight. He's going in there looking for a hard fight, for a good tune-up. So eventually, when he does try to go and, you know, maybe take out the winner of maybe take out Usyk or take out Joshua, he's in kind of a good form. He hasn't gone and fought a nothing, nobody, and never has been, never will be. He's fought someone that, you know, he knows how to throw heavy punches. He knows how to break bones. You know what I mean? It's a different style of tune-up.
Yeah, he just gets stuck in, to be fair.
I think I was saying this, you know, me and Vandy was saying it, and Kenny, we were saying like, with Derek Chisora, you know, he got a big fan base.
Yeah.
He's got a massive fan base. People don't realize that. Like, he puts bums on seats. It's like when he come to Cardiff, when he fought down here, he brought half. I know everyone's saying Joshua, but he brought half of London too with him. Yeah. Like he just sold 50,000 tickets. Him and Tyson Fury.
There you go.
So you can see he's got a massive fan base.
Attraction.
Yeah, people just love him. There's no in between. You either love him or hate him, but I think you just majority love him.
The thing with Chisora is, look, we all know that he's past his prime, but when he goes in, he's going in with all that he's got. He's throwing everything that he's got. You know what I mean? He's not gonna drop his hands and try and get the fuck out of Dodge quick, get his money and walk out. You know, he's gonna give you a fight. I think that's what people respect.
But I don't like about him when he's had enough. It's like we were watching the fight when he fought Usyk. It's on the 9th round, and you can see he's had enough, and he just walked over to the corner before the bell run. That's what I like about him. And he don't get knocked out. He's hitting him. It's like the guy.
He's got a jaw. He's got a fucking tough jaw.
Yeah,
he's something else, bro. He's a legend. That's why. Like, but I don't know. You know, I'm not saying he's gonna beat Tyson, but you know what we do? Imagine he knocks out Tyson Fury. The world will go ballistic.
And he should retire after that if he does that.
Oh, retire.
Tyson Fury won't let him retire. If Tyson Fury gets knocked out by Derek Chisora, Fury will chase him everywhere.
Yeah.
Kenny,
It'll actually make for a good fight.
Kenny, what would be your reaction? Imagine that the impossible happens and he knocks out Tyson Fury. What would your reaction be?
Well, you know what? I don't know, mate, because I think you can't contemplate that happening, unfortunately, because even because you think when Derek was in his prime 10 years ago, he lost 3 fights in a row. Because if you think about it, 10 and a half years ago, he just lost to Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, and then he talked himself into a fight with David A. That was because he lost the last 3 fights, got knocked out by David A. And that was when he was in his prime. And then all of a sudden now, 10 years down the line, he's still fighting, he's still getting big fights. And you're right, it's because he puts bums on seats, he's getting big fights. But everyone talks about him having a great resume because they say, oh, yeah, he's got a better resume than Deontay Wilder. He's got a better resume than Dylan White. I said, yeah, but he hasn't beaten these fighters. Surely a resume in boxing has to be beating quality fighters, not losing to them. That's the thing. And that's the thing with Derek Chisora. Every time he fights someone who's is in the top 10 with a little bit more ability than him, he gives them a fight, but he always loses pretty comfortably. You know that fight with Pulev, the rematch? That was the biggest give me ever. There's no way Derek Chisora won that fight. No way. Pulev won that fight rounds.
No,
that was the biggest give me I've ever seen. But let's help Derek out. Let's give him a hometown decision to make it feel better. Derek Chisora, for me, is everything that's wrong with British boxing. The fact that he gets fights, shouts so much wrong with our great sport, because someone like him, with all due respect, right, it was like it's taking British boxing back to the 70s and 80s where you had, a club fighter doing well, which is nice, but he's not elite. Tyson Fury is like Tyson Fury having a practice match, a behind closed doors friendly between Arsenal and Brentford. That is that type of fight. But Tyson Fury is doing a very, very good job, and I'm a massive fan of his. But I'll say as it is, I'm not like Gareth A. Davies. Tyson Fury is conning the British public into creating something that's not there. You're like, oh, I'm the first fighter to have 2 trilogies. No, you ain't. And anyway, since when did elite champions celebrate a trilogy with Derek Chisora, who you beat comfortably twice? Yeah. Stop trying to con people. Just say, I need a fight. I struggle. Yeah, that's exactly. Just say, I struggle with mental health. I don't want to be at home with the wife and kids. I need a box. Just say it. And if anyone wants to fight, I'll fight them. And then we just leave it at that. But you try and sell this fight. Come on, man. You're not an Anthony Joshua. You may be a better boxing than Anthony Joshua, but you haven't got Anthony Joshua's appeal to the British public. Anthony Joshua could sell this fight 3 times over because he's marketable. And Tyson Fury needs to accept you're not marketable enough to try and get away with this rubbish.
Do you think, though, that Anthony Joshua, there's a comeback for Joshua now after the way he's lost them fights?
Always is, because simple reason is that Anthony Joshua, he wasn't outclassed by Usyk, and the thing is, Anthony Joshua is box office, especially heavyweight division. He's the most, and that's the thing. British fight fans, the boxing fans will half and half with Joshua, but I think the British fight fans, as fickle as they are, because they're now what I call the casuals, gone from Joshua to Fury. The fact is that I've been to a lot of Anthony Joshua fights, and I'll tell you one thing, it's like an event. I'll tell you one thing, it's like going, and I know it's no exaggeration, it's like going to a test match, FA Cup final, film premiere and the Boxing Day test in Melbourne rolled into one. I could tell you that. I beat the Tyson Fury fights and not even a quarter of that. And that is why Anthony Joshua would never be finished in boxing because of the fact that what he thinks of the thing. Yeah.
Well, have you heard? Go on.
No. You go for it.
Oh no. Well, yeah. Talking about Joshua. Well, today Eddie Hearn come out in an interview today saying they've actually started talking with Wilder's camp to have a fight for 2023. I still think, like we said this on the previous podcast, I still think that sells out pretty much anywhere, because I'd still love to see Anthony Joshua versus Wilder. But just because he's been outclassed by Usyk doesn't mean he's not I'd probably have him number 3 in the world, or 4 between him and Wilder. But I'd love to see Wilder Joshua in 2023. That'd be, and I'd definitely be on the list to go to that, even after 2 losses. And even after Wilder getting battered 3 times by Fury, I'd love to go watch that fight.
I think with the sorry, bro. I think with the British, not the British, with the Sky commentator, and I think Kenny agree with me. When Shields fought Savannah put up a good fight, but the way they're making, she done all right. Shields levels, isn't it? Shields levels above it, innit? So for her to not get knocked out by it and thing, I'll give her that credit. She done all right. But the way if you listen to the commentator, you would have thought Shields is losing a fight.
Yeah, but do you know what these guys? That's what you gotta. Most of these fights, I don't listen to with the commentary on, because they're so biased. They're so biased.
Adam's the worst.
Did you see the fight beforehand, though? I mean, Baumgardner Baumgardner and Meyer it was a disgrace. I'll tell you one thing, it was the most disgraceful bit of commentary I ever think. Adam Smith, a disgrace. Mathematically a disgrace.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Natasha Jonas is an embarrassment. There was no way. There were times when Michaela Meyer was missing with her jabs and her right hands, and yet they were saying great work by Meyer. When she was coming in with trying to get into the jab, then right hand combination, missing, and every time Baumgardner was double jabbing her, punching her, coming out. Even when she was coming forward, she was getting caught with big punches, and yet they're trying to say that Michaela Meyer won it by 2 rounds, and they had the audacity to join in with a booing and say that it was a travesty. It wasn't a travesty.
That's a
joke.
By
one. Yeah, exactly. Baumgardner won it by at least 1 round, but this by at least a round. Do you know what I mean?
This is boxing. You're right, but this is boxing. Cool. We saw this. Look, we'll go back if you want. Floyd Patterson, Liston. Floyd Patterson versus Liston back in the day. Floyd Patterson was the American wonder child. Everyone loved him. Liston was the guy that nobody liked. But Liston demo jobbed him, was getting booed in the in the stands. Even the commentators didn't like him. The reporters didn't like him. With boxing, it's about who's marketable, not who's the best sometimes. Yeah. And that's what that kind of hurts a bit. You know what I mean? Imagine being a boxer and you being the better boxer. You know what I mean? You being the one that's got the skill, you got the class, you're destroying people, but the commentators are against you, the reporters are against you, and in some cases, even the fans being against you. I don't understand that dynamic.
Yeah, 100%.
I look at Tyson Fury now, and I think Tyson Fury, the arrogance doesn't help him, but the results are what he runs off. A lot of people look at Joshua much like a Floyd Patterson, where it's like, he's our boy. This is the guy who we want to represent us. But the problem is, he's not that good. He's not good enough. End of the day, you got to call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, it's like, I really want this boxer to be able to be up here, but that's not the case. Unfortunately, sometimes it's going to be the underdog. It's going to be the one that nobody likes that comes to the table and becomes champion. And I think there has to be a sense of respect, not just from the fans, right? But from the commentary and reporters, because when you're in the ring and you're throwing hands, it doesn't matter what you look like or what your following is. It's about what happens in those 6, 8, 10, 12 rounds. You know what I mean?
So I think with a lot of these guys, that when the commentators commentate and they're working for Sky, for example, they need to promote their fighter, and it shouldn't work like that. You should call a spade a spade. But these guys just whoever's their home fighter, they need to make that fight even look relatively close, so then they can say, okay, even if they lose, we'll promote it off. Actually, it was a really close fight when it actually wasn't a really close fight. There's so many times, like boxing's known for it. Like that's why I try and avoid just not listening to commentary at all, because they'll say it so much you actually believe it, and you actually, if you just watch fights back. So I know you mentioned earlier about Chisora and Usyk. If you actually watch that in silence, it's not as close as you think it is. And what Chisora does, he'll come out for the first 30 seconds and pressure you. He'll do nothing for 2 minutes, and then the last 30 seconds he'll pressure you again. So in your head, the first you see him come out fast, and you think, bloody hell, he come out fast. And then the last thing you see in the round is he ends the round strong. So then in your head, and with these commentators pushing it, you think he's won that round. But at max, he's won a minute out of a 3-minute round. So he hasn't actually won the round. But this is the narrative they try and force onto you to believe you're seeing something completely different to what's actually happening.
Nah, to be fair,
smoke and mirrors.
What I seen of that fight, Chisora did chase him down for 6 rounds, and he was trying to weigh him down. He was leaning on him. He was doing all sorts to. It wasn't a clean fight. And sometimes, to be fair, if you're fighting somebody like Usyk, you might not necessarily be getting the points what you would get on a clean fight, but you can win a fight by being dirty, and that's what I thought he was doing.
Yeah, listen, I'm not taking away from his tactics for that fight, because there's no way he could have went with Usyk and outbox him. He had to rough him up. It was his first fight at heavyweight, but like I said, the commentators push it even more that it was a really close fight. He had good moments, he had good rounds, but it wasn't as close as they led you on to believe. And then also, like I said again with Eddie Hearn, he then sold Chisora's next fight off. Wow, look how well he did against the pound for pound king, or one of the pound for pound. So they use, even if they lose, they use it as it was really close. So we can sell that fight. We got robbed, or it was only 1 round.
I think that's boxing in general. Like you think, Steve made a really good point about, the golden child. They want them to do well. If you think about it, you think about the George Groves James DeGale fight. James DeGale was like the golden boy, the Olympic medal. George Groves was the guy who didn't get the Olympics, yet everyone had James DeGale as a favourite. I thought he would win as well. I thought with Cluzz, I gave it to DeGale. But what's happening is, you're right. George Groves' biggest argument is that he's not as good as as everyone thinks he is, and I'm as good as him, if not better. And that proved. And then you look at, but Frank Warren was pushing James DeGale. You look at Daniel Dubois v. Joe Joyce. Daniel Dubois is the fighter that Frank Warren has always been trying to push. Yet Joe Joyce has basically, stopped him because of injuries, even though I thought he was behind in points, and he's blossomed. But that wasn't the plan, isn't it? The plan was always to push Daniel Dubois, and I think that happens with a lot of times where, some promoters have invested so much in a fighter that they have to win. And
I think there's one, just to jump in previously, and you go back to, was the Mayweather Canelo fight. How one of the judges scored that a draw. Now that made me think, if Canelo actually had a couple more better rounds, would they just give that to Canelo and then just made him the star of boxing? He's already had his own career path. Since the Mayweather fight, he's made himself a star. But if he had beat Mayweather that night, he would have went to unbelievable levels of, and it makes me think, if he won 2 or 3 more rounds, would they have given him that fight? And boxing's corrupt with that shit, man. So that's where
it's really.
Yeah, I think with boxing, you got to understand, like the first ever really, I find the golden boy in boxing, like everyone used to praise and all that was, but he was bad though. His left hook was Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Like that, when De La Hoya jumped on the scene, he was the golden boy, innit? He's like the original, and everyone else. I find he was one of the first ones to me. Like even when he beat finished Trinidad, when he knocked him out with that left hook, see, it went real wide, that knockout. So like De La Hoya, but De La Hoya, see, one thing about De La Hoya though, but he gave back to the game, innit? And like he knows, for some reason, he knows like if his fighters are gonna get robbed, like he looks after his fighters. But then when you've got the sharks out there who are more powerful than him, there's nothing you can do, innit? Because there's always someone bigger than you in boxing and power. Like, there's always a promoter who got someone under his sleeve, and he got something under his sleeve. And it's like with Eddie. Eddie promotes the fights. He promotes the fights, like, but he ain't the promoter of the fighters.
No,
like
he's
Canelo,
a promoter. He's a promoter of fights.
If they're a mate, if your name's AJ and Carl Froch or Conor Ben are mates, then he'll promote you. Anyone else?
Don't forget Bellew.
Bellew, bloody hell. Bellew's insufferable. Oh god. The guy screamed and chat about he wants everyone anyone found guilty of failing drug tests be banned for life. Well,
we're gonna wrap it up now, anyway. We're gonna wrap it up now, boys.
Because I'm gonna be
no worries, I'm wrapping it up now anyway. I'm gonna wrap it up now anyway, lads. I'm gonna wrap it up now anyway, Max. We're gonna go behind the scenes anyway, boys. Kenny, Vandy, Steve, Michael, thank you for jumping on.
Pleasure.
I'm gonna say to everyone, good night. Tottenham won, we're all happy. Not.
I'm right.
It's all right. It's all right. They're going to make it to the next round, but they're going to get slapped up anyway. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, boys. I'm wrapping up now.
Nice one.
Well, out.
See you later.
See you later.